Hi, I'm Matt from Into Formula, and welcome to our Research and Development Centre. We do all forms of research and development, all the way from designing and developing our own race cars, to simulators, to running cars in racing series and rallying all over the world. We also do a lot in the Asian Classic Car Championship, so do look out for us. For any information, do contact us with the number down below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to the Adrenaline Impact GT3 series held right here at Spa-Francorchamps. I'm your host for this evening, Max Palmer, and with me in the studio as well as our director, Kyril Alang. Now down there on the circuit, 7 kilometers long, or 6.93 according to iRacing there. 18 degrees C, so quite cool temperatures out there. They're going to have to really watch their throttle applications through the corners. But apart from that, it's going to be a very, very good condition for the race weather-wise, and it looks like it's going to have a very good field this evening. Right now, we've got a couple of minutes left in the practice session, and Safa Arifin is in the lead so far with a 217.800, followed by Ilham Halabi with a 217.999, just a tenth under the 218 barrier. But there's quite a few drivers out there that are quite quick as well. I see Jasmine Jali in third place, Tiku Ershad in 4th, Javier Alvarez there in 7th. Mohaimin is going to be very quick as well, we predict. Afif Fadlan also quite quick in these sort of cars, as well as Taramizi Yusuf, and quite a few other drivers will be coming into the server as the race progresses. So right after this, they've got a minute left of practice, and then they're going to go into the qualifying sessions. It's going to be very, very challenging to try and get the best lap time around the circuit. Of course, some of these drivers will be perhaps trying to go and look for a tow, look for a draft from one of the other drivers. Some of the other drivers might prefer a open track with nobody ahead of them. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the qualifying session sort of evolves. There we see Jasmine Jali in the BMW Z4 GTE car, and it looks to be a big old accident up the front there. That looks to be Sharon Orofudin who's gone off the track. They're really pushing very hard in order to try and get their qualifying sims done. A lot of these drivers would have had a nice long stint at the start of practice, and now they're trying to get as quick a lap time as possible. Jasmine Jali getting very close to Ilham's time. They're 218.078, just a few hundredths of a second away. But now it is going to be qualifying. 15 minutes on an open track, so track position is going to be absolutely critical for the drivers as they head out onto this legendary circuit. Now, some of the cars we saw out there, there's a couple of roofs. That is the oldest style car based on the 997 Porsche, but built by the tuning house roof. They've been grandfathered into the series as well, and can be very, very quick. Calvin Ha in the 488.
Oh, what a massive crash.
That is the danger around here, isn't it? When you try to go out on cold tires, that could be a real issue coming through there. Omar Aziz in the Audi R8 LM GT3 car. I believe that is the Plus version with the spotlights and that wonderful Red Bull livery. A lot of these cars have been turned out very nicely indeed, and some fantastic liveries out there on track. You'll see that Ferrari up ahead there running the the SRE livery, I do apologise. And that is a community that has been supplying us with some wonderful high quality drivers for you to enjoy in this fantastic series of races we've had up there. Tukwursha there has the all white Ferrari 488 GT3 car, and he was very quick doing the warm-up race. Unfortunately had a couple of mistakes throughout the course of the race there. We'll be expecting great things from him throughout the course of the race there as he exits Puhon and heads makes his way up to the Fanyas chicane, sometimes nicknamed Piff Puff, because you have to get through it basically with 2 steering inputs if you want to be quick, or so goes the tail. Further along the lap there we have, I believe that is Tarmizi.
Let me get the graphics for you. Go on the dashboard, on board.
Yeah, that's Mohammed. Right, there we go. So Mohammed there, he's running the SRE Ferrari that was used here to good effect earlier on in the year when the SRE guys went into the Spa 24-hour race. They did very well with the car and managing to finish in the top half of the field, bringing both the Ferraris home, and I believe they had the BMW M8 out as well.
And this livery is inspired by Legacy Racing Team, which is currently is based on AMG. It's a real racing team driven by Tengku Jan and Leona Chin, I think.
Yes, so they are one of the teams of drivers that's running in the GT Asia Championship. Very well known, prestigious GT racing event. Of course, a lot of the biggest and best teams, even though they might be supporting other nations, they are based in fact at Sepang. For instance, the Absolute Racing team and also the Eurasia team, even though they're owned by outsiders, they are actually based at Sepang, along with guys like the Legacy Racing team. So very, very strong tradition in Malaysia of endurance racing, and these cars really lend themselves to that tradition of being able to run the distance.
So we'll be seeing Mohammed's first hot lap, I think, because he went for the warm-up lap already, out lap.
So we just see him take his first lap time. Now, occasionally the cars might not register a lap time even after their first flying lap, but that's because around Spa here, iRacing is notorious in being very, very strict when it comes to the track limits. So if you go a little
even
bit
in
too
qualifying, if we set it to moderate as of this race, excessive towing will deny your lap time. So we'll try to see Omar Aziz's time for this lap. He might be void if he were to be too close to Mohammed. Okay, Omar gets the time and Mohammed didn't get the time.
So I believe Mohammed might have run wide actually in that sense, but Omar Aziz there, he's got the fastest time so far with 2:19.461, as well as he has a 2:22.8. Of course, some of these drivers will actually take an extra warm-up lap in order to try and get the cars tyres right up to temperature and the brakes right up to temperature, so they might need more than one lap even on a track as long as this in order to get the tyres up to temperature and the brakes up to temperature in order to go for the hot lap. So now we see there the time to beat 2:19.461. Let's see what Sharon Orafudin can do, and it looks like he's unable to set a time. Meanwhile, Jasri Junus will be the next car along.
We'll go on to Ilham.
Yep, and Ilham Hlabi, he was trying to get a good lap time there. Unfortunately, he is not able to do so. Perhaps he was taking too much tow from the car up ahead there. Again, very difficult to judge the towing effect around the track here, but it looks like a lot of the drivers aren't quite able to get the times in. Shami Aizan has indeed got a time of 2 minutes 19.853 seconds there. He moves up into third place, and it looks like the times are not quite as quick as they were in practice, although there are still 9.5 minutes to go, or 8.5 minutes to go rather in the session. So now we see Tirmizi Yusuf, that's the sister car to Mohamed's, the SRE AVA livery. Again, as we said earlier on in the broadcast, that was the Legacy Racing team. That is Azra Nasli. He is in the Mercedes AMG GT3. That car also has quite a special livery there, a very Malaysian, almost Yamaha inspired livery. Yep.
Yamaha on West is quite weird.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit strange, although Yamaha does have an engineering concern that develops internal combustion engines for other manufacturers, so you might see them
Irshad
on
just managed
a
provisional pole of 291. Yeah, 291.
Yeah, 219.291 for Tengku Irshad there. He'll be quite happy with that lap, I would suspect. It seems to be very hard to try and get a good clean lap around this track here, and like I was saying, there are some sections here where if you go a little bit too wide, even though all four wheels aren't off the road, it just seems that iRacing decides that that lap time will be void. Just like there with Cheryl Norafudan, he ran a bit too wide in the final corner there, but yet he gets the lap time. So 219.893 for him. There's going to be a lot of cars, I reckon, is going to go into the 219s there. So far, Ilham Halabi still unable to get that lap time in. Jasri Jonas manages a 223.380 in the Castrol Rough GT3 car. Malvindajit is still on 220s. Javier Alvarez, the Spaniard, is still on 220s as well. So now we watch Tirmizi go through Blanchimont there, real driver's corner in anything other than a Formula 1 car. And a Formula 1 car is absolutely flat out, but in these things you really do have to drive the car through the corner, modulate the throttle, and try and blend the throttle on and off in order to get a good lap time. Now he's going to go across the line. Let's see what he's able to pull off here. That's a 222.0. He'll want to try and push that car just a little bit harder in order to get up into the higher positions. We expect the fastest cars of the field to lap during the race at around the 219 to 220 mark. That seems to be race pace, and that seems to be all these cars are able to do in qualifying at the moment. Javier Alvarez manages to move right up the leaderboard. He gets himself a 219.880. There'll be a little bit more to what he would be used to lapping this track at. Right now, Saiful Arifin, another very, very quick driver. He's got quite a few purple sectors there, so if he can get this lap done, he might be able to move himself right up the leaderboard. It's going to be a very quick lap time. Or it was going to, but unfortunately that lap has been disallowed as well.
Oh my. I guess you have to try once more.
Yeah. So that's going to be really challenging, especially with an open session. You have to be careful of cars that are parked on the side of the road, cars that are perhaps in a weird position. Occasionally the yellow flag might flash up. There's a million and one different things that could ruin your qualifying. The best thing to do in those situations is to just keep your head down and keep going. Just like in the real world of motorsports, the perfect qualifying lap pretty much doesn't exist. Omar Abdulaziz says, "Go Urshad" down in the comment section below, and go yourself as well, Omar. Hopefully we'll see some fantastic racing up at the front of the field this time around. And for those of you guys who just joined us, do leave a comment down below. Some of the racing drivers might pop in there for a little bit to have a chat with their fans. So do send a message along to your favourite racing driver in the GT3 series. Whilst you're there, just hit that like button, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube streams, and do share the stream around with your friends and spread that sim racing love around. Beautiful sounding Mercedes there of Javier Alvarez coming into the final braking zone of the lap. You've got to be very careful around here in order to make sure you get a good exit. A nice smooth exit down there. Let's see if he's able to do anything in terms of lap time, and he goes pole. So Javier Alvarez has moved up 2:19.163. Javier is on provisional pole, but how long will he stay there? The time is slowly ticking away. They might get another one, maybe 2 laps to go. It looks like Safar Arifin is pulling off the track. Will Ilham Halabi pull off as well? Looks like Ilham's still trying hard. Let's see if this is going to be a good lap time from him. Again, unfortunately, he must be on an outlap there, but it looks like yet another lap that didn't count. He's going to be a little bit worried in there. Usually he's definitely battling with Safar Arifin for pole position, but mind you, Ilham Halabi has had a bit of a history of starting from the back in some of these races and trying on the sort of last to first challenge. So that'll be quite interesting indeed to see how this goes for Ilham. Now driving it as a privateer, you can see Ilham Halabi has this very distinctive purple and sort of that lime yellow livery that he has on all his cars when he is driving as a privateer. Very, very distinctive, very, very easy to spot in a field of cars there.
I wonder why his qualifying timings are not in.
I'm not too sure myself.
Oh, there he goes.
There we go.
Let's just have a look at JJ first.
Yep. Jaswin Jelly, or JJ as he's known to the community, he is a fairly quick driver in that BMW Z4. He's had quite a lot of experience in that car, and it looks like he's going to be on a quick time. It definitely looks like it's going to be quicker than his previous time of 2:27. Of course, he'll be hoping for that. That beautiful Petronas livery, which is based on a real-life Super Tycoon livery. As they go down through the gearbox there, just a little bit wide in the first part of the he decides to come in.
Let's go back to Ilham.
So let's see if Ilham is able to do a decent lap time.
I think JJ is on purpose starting from the back
Probably.
today.
Yeah. There might be quite a few drivers actually that might decide to start
Yeah,
from the
self-challenge.
back of the field. Yeah. So let's see there. It looks like Ilham slowed down just a little bit there. Maybe he's trying to drive to a lap time. Yeah, he was. He definitely backed off quite a bit there. He just wants to make sure that he is on the grid with a 2:20.164 with a bit of a cheeky lift. But that still brings him up to 7th place, and still in contention for the win if he is quick enough, obviously, in that little Mercedes. Now, of course, the upcoming race is going to be a 45-minute race, and there is a limit. We've artificially put a limit on the fuel tanks on these cars to about 55% of their normal capacity, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And that will mean that all the cars will need to have a pit stop in order to finish the full length of the race. So it's going to be a very interesting challenge to see not only who's going to have the quickest race pace, but also who can really put the strategy that they've been working on for the last couple of days down, and really work on their tactics and strategy throughout the course of the race. Will they go and pit early? You can pit late in these cars. You can go almost 3/4 of the way through the race without taking a pit stop, but you will need to do a pit stop there, so perhaps we'll see quite a few drivers try that long first stint and a sprint on the second stint, but some drivers will have to perhaps push the cars quite hard in order to try and keep ahead of the chasing pack and come in quite early. So it's going to be a very interesting challenge around this fantastic Spa circuit. Oh, it looks like one of the Mercs there running a bit wide. I think that's Shamaza. Alright, now Ilham Labi's going to try and see if he can get another lap time in. The qualifying session is over, the checker flag is out. Everybody will have to basically get this lap. And he decides not to.
Something fishy here.
Yeah. So this will be the last laps of the drivers out on course right now. And I believe that is it for the qualifying session. So it looks like Javier Alvarez is on pole position, followed by Tinku Urshad and Afiq Fadlan. That's going to be a very interesting start to the race, that's for sure. We have some very quick drivers out there further behind. Ilham Labi is only down in 8th place, but we know he's very quick in race conditions. Mohaimin in 9th will be very fast in lead as well. And I believe Saiful Arifin will be starting from the back of the field. He elects not to take a qualifying lap. Maybe he will try and do a last first attempt as well. Afiq Fadlan is the last car out on track. Let's see if iRacing will allow him to try and complete that lap.
No, you have to go to the pits. Yeah, last time it cuts off at 3 minutes, so yeah, he knows.
Yeah, he's unable to finish the lap, so I believe perhaps these two drivers were just putting an extra little bit of practice, to be fair.
Maximizing the time.
Yep.
They should pop up of qualifying anytime.
Yep, in
Yeah,
basically a few seconds time. Yep, there we go. And now we're going to head over to the grid. And now this is the grid for the first round of the Adrenaline Impact GT3 series here at Spa-Francorchamps. Javier Alvarez of Spain is on pole position with a 2:19.163. He will take that first position. Tinku Urshad is in second place. Afiq Fadlan is in third, followed by Umar Aziz, Shami Aizan, Movinderjit Singh, Sharon Norafuddin, Ilham Halabi, Mohammed Mohaimin, Tamiz Yusuf, Jasri Yunus and Calvin Ha. Ilham Halabi, one of the quicker drivers out there on field. You best be looking to him to see one of your potential race winners. Azwan Nazli is in 13th, followed by Farouz Fazil. Jasri Jali and Saiful Arifin is another very, very quick driver right there at the back in 16th place. So this is going to be a very interesting race indeed. Now we're waiting for Javier and Cheryl and Mohaimin to get themselves onto the grid before we take the rolling start. There we see Javier there, the all blue car of Javier Alvarez, the all white car of Tinku Urshad. This is going to be an absolutely exciting start to the race. We've got some very quick drivers in Afiq Fadlan and Umar Aziz right behind them as well.
So a grid of 16 cars today.
Yeah. So that's quite a healthy field for these GT3 drivers, especially as we did. This is a bit of a short notice race. Trying to fill up the schedule between now and when we can get the AIMC series back up and running. It's nice to have these one-off events where the drivers can really show off and see what they can do in a winner-take-all type race. Javier Alvarez goes for the start, and he has a massive gap, massive jump there from himself to Tinku Urshad there, coming down to turn 1. But there's quite a few cars there. There's a lot of chopping and changing further down the order, but Javier Alvarez manages to keep the lead as the lights go out, and we are underway. Tinku Irshad there in second place, Afif Fadlan is in third, and Omar Aziz in fourth. Shami Aizan has moved around a little bit there. Melvin Legit just pushing the car very hard indeed in sixth place. He is another dark horse. He could take this race win as well. Omar Aziz now right all over the back of Afif Fadlan. It looks like he has the toe coming down into the Camel Straight. They're going to go side by side coming into Lecom. Will he be able to overtake? Coming on the inside, there's going to be an outbreaking battle, and it looks like they're still side by side going through there. But Omar Aziz managed to muscle his way through the corner there, leaving Afif Fadlan and Shami Aizan in the two Petronas Mercedes cars down in 5th and 6th place. So that was a real hard push by Omar Aziz to get up ahead. The battle of the Formula 1 themed cars really hotting up at the front of the field there. But Javier Alvarez is still in the lead, although Tinku Irshad has managed to claw back a little bit of the gap that Javier managed to gain at the start of the race there. There's half a second between these two drivers. It's not really a lot of gap for Javier to try and relax, and definitely Tinku Irshad can see the lead right in front of him, so that's going to be a massive sort of incentive for Tinku Irshad to try and get up into the lead of the race. Meanwhile, Shami Aizan is now the next driver who's going to try and make an overtaking move on Afif Fadlan, coming down through to Blanchimont. Will he take the chance coming into Blanchimont, or will he wait till the bus stop? It's all about how well they can go through this corner here, and it looks like Shami Aizan just a little bit slow through there, but Afik's gone wide. Afif Fadlan's gone wide coming into the braking zone here. He's going to be very careful under brakes, really tiptoe the car around.
Well, what happened there in the front?
It looks like Tinku Irshad's managed to make an overtaking move on Javier. So Javier must have made a slight mistake coming out of the bus stop chicane there. Let's have a quick look on the replay. Coming down through there, I believe, yeah, Javier has gone wide coming into the braking zone there, and Tinku Irshad's able to just capitalise on the mistake. A little bit of a touch there on the exit of the corner, but now Tinku Irshad is in the lead of the race. Javier is right behind him, pushing him very, very hard indeed, and Omar Aziz is directly behind them as well. So this is all going off for the lead of the race. This is absolutely exciting stuff coming down the Camel Straight there. Omar Aziz very close to Javier. Will we see another fantastic overtaking manoeuvre from Omar? No, he decides not to, but Javier is really good on the brakes here. In comparison to Tinku Irshad, it looks like the Mercedes is a lot better on the brakes than the Ferrari. Omar Aziz in the Audi can still comfortably keep up with these drivers. Let's see if he will take an overtaking manoeuvre coming to the Brussels hairpin. Just about unable to do so, but these three drivers are really pushing very hard indeed. And let's not forget position number 4 and the 5th and 6th place cars, and the 4th place car as well. Afif Fadlan, Shami Aizan and Ilham Labi are quite close behind. So the entire top half of the field is still very close to each other. Ilham perhaps a little bit further behind, and Afif just a little bit further behind up ahead. Now Tinku Irshad is in the lead, Javier Alvarez is in second, and Omar Aziz is in third place. That's your top 3 right now as of lap 2 coming through underneath the Vodafone bridge. Shami Aizan really pushing that car hard. He's trying to get up behind Afif Fadlan in order to try and get the toe, the slipstream effect coming out of here. So coming out of Stavelot, it's all about trying to minimize the loss, any speed loss you can get, to maximize the top speed of the cars going through this section here. Going to watch out up ahead.
Ilham catches up.
But yep, Ilham is definitely getting closer as these two drivers are trying to run line astern. That's the other Audi R8 coming in to join in on the fun. And Ilham really pushing very hard indeed to try and look for a position. Now of course Ilham doesn't usually go for the first possible overtaking maneuver. He likes to sit back and try and observe his prey, if you will, before he strikes and tries to make an overtaking maneuver. But the temptation must be quite big coming up ahead here. So we've got 2 Mercedes Petronas cars and 2 SRE Ferraris there running line astern either side of Ilham Labi. Perhaps the rare teammate double sandwich.
I must give big thumbs up to all these guys tonight. To the first and second, and up to now, very clean lap, and they started off very beautifully today.
Yeah, it's fantastic, clean racing all the way up and down the leaderboard there, but still very, very aggressive as well, which is what we like to see here on Adrenaline Impact. Now we watch as Javier begins to pile the pressure on Tukuershad. Meanwhile, Jaswin Jali is carving his way through the field there, driving left, right and centre through some of these cars there. Of course, he unfortunately had a bad qualifying, but we know he's got the pace in that BMW in order to try and drive quite quickly. 222 is not bad considering he's stuck in traffic trying to overtake drivers. Car up ahead is Arzul Nazli's Yamaha Mercedes.
Yamaha
Very
Mercedes.
very strange livery choice there, but definitely very unique indeed. But but in any case, he will definitely be pushing very hard in order to try. He's already gained 4 positions in 3 laps, so there's definitely enough laps in the race for him to try and overtake the cars up ahead. But Azrael Nazli is not a slow driver himself. He'll be pushing very hard in that Mercedes. He's got a good car underneath him, and he'll be pushing as hard as he can in order to try and catch up with the cars up ahead.
What happened here in the front?
Meanwhile, up ahead, Omar Aziz is really closing up to Javier Alvarez, but where's Tukuershad? He's off. He's in the pits.
Let's try to see what happened to him.
So we're watching Tukuershad now going through. That was out of Pujon, I believe. Yeah, that's out of coming into Pujon, and he just spun.
Oh my!
That's the trouble with the Ferrari. If you get the car too unstable under brakes, it does tend to swap ends on you. So Alvarez is now back in the lead. It looks like Afi Fadlan has gone very wide indeed. That's allowed Ilham Hlabi to give a massive attempt in order to try and overtake. But Umar Aziz is now in second place. Javier Alvarez has retaken the lead of the race. So there's going to be the battle between these 2 drivers in order to try and make the race win possible for either driver here. Let's see. Umar Aziz is going to go side by side down the Camel Straight. Very close between these 2 drivers here. It's going to be an outbreaking battle coming into Lecom, side by side, but it looks like Omar Aziz is a textbook, sort of a photocopy of the move he had in the first lap of the race there, and he now claims the lead of the race.
The R8 straight line speed is massive.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Javier is really pushing that car very hard indeed, and it looks like Ilham Hlabi has managed to get past the 2 Mercedes to come up into 3rd place as well, and he's all over the back of Javier Alvarez. Javier went a little bit wide coming out of the Brussels hairpin, and it looks like that has given the chance to Ilham Hlabi, who's already gained 5 places.
Okay, let's just see overtake. Saiful overtook.
So that was Jezrin and as well as Azrael Nazli, and it really had quite a lot of help there, I think, from all 3 drivers in order to make that overtaking move work. It's a good racecraft, good sportsmanship there. Everyone gave perfect amount of room for each other, not an inch less, not an inch more, and then that is another little bit of slicing through. Meanwhile, there's someone out down there in the comments section. Unfortunately, the names have come up in yellow.
Sakinta.
So Sakinta asked, is this league only for Malaysians? Well, it's for people from all around the regions. When we do have a championship, we do only open up the prizes for Malaysians because we have to send the prizes on, obviously. But yeah, in the meantime, for those of you who are perhaps from all around the Southeast Asia region and are interested in trying...
Javier went wide there, and he lost his position.
So Javier loses a position again to the Audi of Ilham Hlabi. Ilham's really pushing that car very fast indeed through this section of corners, through Eau Rouge and Radion, taking a lot of curb on the exit of Radion, and coming up into the Camel Straight. So I hope that answers the question to Sakita. You can join the SRA events as well, which is open to all drivers across Asia. So to have a look around for the SRA guys. We will hopefully be broadcasting the race next weekend. Okay. So that will be something to look forward to. Do stay tuned to Adrenaline Impact for more racing action right the way through the sim racing landscape. Shami Aizan right now in 5th place, following behind Afif Fadlan. 10 minutes have passed in this 45-minute race, and it's still going to be pushing very hard indeed. So coming into the braking zone here, very, very gentle throughout. Coming out of Fanya's.
Okay, Sakinta, you can join our league. What you can do is you can PM Adrenaline Impact for how to, or the easier way is just to apply to enter our league in iRacing. Look up for Adrenaline Impact Championship League. So we're open for this one-off races series. We have the Formula AI and we have the GT3 series. So it's all open for anyone to enter, unless it's when we start the next season of season 3. You're also welcome to enter, but the prizes are entitled only for residents of Malaysia.
So hopefully by then we can ask him to come over and live in Malaysia.
We do
But
have
right.
international guys in our league.
Yep.
Surin, we have
Yep.
I think another guy. I'm not.
And we also have Javier as well,
Yeah.
who's from Spain.
But
He's a
in
resident of
KL, I
Malaysia.
think.
Yeah, he is a resident of Malaysia, but he is a Spanish national.
He's a Spaniard who enjoys nasi lemak.
But in any case, yes, you are welcome to come in. Just be mindful of the fact that we can't mail you the prizes due to the vagaries of the competition law here. But meanwhile, Ilham Hlabi has now joined up with Omar Aziz to make it an Audi 1-2, thanks to the Alvarez's slight mistake earlier on in the previous lap, and now it's going to be a battle between the two Audis. Omar Aziz in the Red Bull machine and Ilham Hlabi in the iRacing branded car. Let's see who can get the upper hand through here. Aha! So we have references. Tuku Ershad was leading the race. Unfortunately, he is now down in 16th place. But thanks for asking, and do stay tuned. We'd love to have you on board. Meanwhile, Ilham Hlabi really chasing Omar Aziz very hard indeed, coming into the braking zone here. Really hard to get that braking zone right, but it looks like Ilham Hlabi has set that car up to be absolutely stable on the brakes. Now this GT3 series, the cars are open setup, I believe.
Yeah, open.
Yeah, so you are able to change settings when you're going through the practice session and really set the car up very nicely indeed. And we have another comment there from
Shami Azri.
Yasri. Can we see Max and Carnival racing next time? Perhaps not in iRacing yet. I still need to get a little bit better. But
Umar goes wide there.
Umar.
Yeah, perhaps Shami can try to drive my van inside.
Yeah. It's a pity we can't get iRacing modding to happen, but get a little Econoline van out there racing as well. That would be quite fun. But in any case, Ilham Hlabi really close up to Omar Aziz after Omar's slight mistake. They're very close to each other there. Ilham had to make had to keep the car straight for a little bit longer just to try and avoid that impossible incident with Omar Aziz coming up the hill there.
Oh, let's see Muhaimin.
Muhaimin, meanwhile, he's side by side with the Mercedes of Shami Aizan, who was further up the leaderboard there. But now this is going to be the battle between the Petronas car and the SRE car. Very close behind as well is another RA there. That was Sharon Norafuddin in the Audi, I believe. And that was a very almost was a big accident at the top of the Eau Rouge Radion section. Absolutely amazing overtaking maneuver by Sharon Norafuddin. He had the presence of mind to just try and look for the gap And there could have been a big accident there, but a spectacular maneuver there from Sharil.
This is an exciting train.
Oh yeah.
You see Shame leading it with his teammate Sharil.
And there's quite a lot of cars behind there that are very quick indeed. Like I said, Jasranjali, JJ is behind there as well. Muhaimin is behind there, and Saifur Arifin is also behind there as well. So some very quick drivers behind the train there. So Shami Aiza must be just staring in his mirrors there, hoping to be able to run away from this pack of cars. We'll look at Jasranjali really pushing Tamiz Yusuf hard in the other sister SRE car. And Muhaimin as well behind. Ooh, he's just gone a little bit wide there. Tamiz Yusuf's gone wide. Jasrin has a better run through Stavilo onto the exit of the curves there. And now it's going to be a slipstream battle to see whether Jasrin can go side by side through Blanchimont. And Tamiz just positioning the car perfectly there in order to defend.
They're all in 1/10 of a second. Very
yes.
close, very close.
So that just goes to show how close everyone is right now. Jasranjali is going to go around the outside in the braking zone there. And when he goes around the outside, the first part of the bus stop chicane, he goes around the inside there, but he's still side by side going down the start-finish straight, and so is Tamizi and Saifur Arifin behind as well. So the two SRE Ferraris are really pushing very hard indeed in order to try and keep themselves up ahead. But it looks like Saifur Arifin has managed to make the overtaking maneuver work on Muhammad Muhaimin, I do apologise. And Tamizi just unfortunately couldn't hold off Jasranjali there. He moves up another spot to go up into 8th place. So 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, just as quickly as I can say it. And now Saifur Arifin has that Ferrari right behind him. This could be another position change right here at the bottom of the leaderboard. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the classic, traditional Adrenaline Impact midfield battle. And it looks like Saifur made a bit of a mistake there. Just about managed just to gather the car up without causing an incident there. Very, very good reflexes there from Saifur Arifin to keep the car in a straight line. These GT3 cars, once they get sideways, they're very hard to get back. Coming around the hairpin here. Saifur Arifin looks like he's quicker through the slow speed corners there. That's how he's able to gain the time required to try and overtake these Ferraris. The next car on his hit list is Tamizi up ahead. And we're coming into the midpoint of the race, so you would start to think about the strategy calls here. Of course, it's a one-stop strategy around this track, really, for the drivers there. And the pit stop strategy could be critical in order to try and get a good result around this course here. Looks like the Ferraris are a little bit more alive than they were during the warm-up race. But Saifur Arifin looking very alive there. He's all over the back of Tamizi, going around Stavilo, coming into the Blanchimont curves. Side by side through Blanchimont. Will he be able to make this overtaking maneuver work? Yes, he does. A very neat and very surgical overtaking maneuver, and that's both the Ferraris.
Oh, what happened to Javier?
Javier's gone into the pits, I believe.
Yeah.
Just gone a little bit wide through there. Ooh.
Oh.
But yeah, he was going into the pits, and unfortunately overcooked it on the brakes. Of course, you want to go into the pits as fast as possible in order to try and gain as much time in the pit stops, but that was a very frightening entry into the pits there for Javier Alvarez and Omar Aziz, who's also gone into the pits as well. So this is the start of the pit lane window for these guys. But right at the front of the field, Ilham Hlabi inherits the lead yet again. Afif Adlan's in second. Malvinder Jit has inherited third place. We're now in the middle of the pit window. We're going to see the positions chop and change throughout, and it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be the winner and loser when it comes to the pit stop portion.
Shame overtakes Melvin there.
Yep, very, very close racing all throughout there, and it looks like JJ is going to be very, very close behind. He's got two very quick Audis behind him as well, so JJ wants to try and get ahead of Malvinder Jit Singh, who I believe is running the third SRE car in the race. Pushing very hard through Huon. You can see there's a little bit of a gap between Shami Aizan and the rest of the cars here, but Malvinder Jit under a lot of pressure. You can see in his wing mirrors and his rear view mirrors that he's got JJ behind him, he's got Sharon Norafudin, he's got Saiful Arifin and Tomiz Yusuf, very quick racing drivers. All throughout the field.
This is a frightening train.
Oh yeah, this is a very quick train indeed. So now Malvinder Jit Singh, he's got to worry now. He has to think defensively at this point because the cars are slipstreaming behind him, and when you have a train of cars, you got to slipstream quite a lot. Malvinder Jit closes the door coming into the first part of the Blanchimont curves. Now the second part, he comes a little bit wide there because he's had to take a slightly less than ideal line going through the first half, so he's had to make a bit of a change through the second half there, and he's just trying to position his car in such a way that he can't let the car behind overtake, but it might be all in vain there. Somehow if he managed to make another position change there, but it looks like Jasmine Jali is going to go around the outside. Will he make this work? Fantastic amount of rotation in that BMW. Will he get the drive out? It's going to be side by side down the back straight here. Meanwhile behind him the Ferraris are still battling with Sharil Norafudin. So that's Tomizi and Mohaimin both having their three-way battle with Sharil. And it looks like Jasmine Jali managing to go through side by side, entering into Eau Rouge there. Now he just manages to get himself ahead of Malvinder Jit, but now there's going to be another outbreaking maneuver there. Will Saiful Arifin be able to do anything coming into Lecom? No, he is not.
Oh no, something happened here to Ilham.
So let's see, at the front of the field there, that's Ilham Labi leading the race. He's coming down into the Brussels hairpin. And unfortunately, it looks like he might have just spun the car out on his own. That's a very rare mistake from Ilham.
I'm glad he has quite a big gap.
Yeah, because he's usually one of the
Oh,
most...
what happened?
Oh, and that's Jasmine Jali. So we're going to have to look at that again, because that is big news there for the midfield battle. So let's have a quick look there through the replay. And that's another driver who's lost it. Up ahead.
Shame, oh, it was due
So
to
Shame Aizan spun the car then. Unfortunately, Jasmine had nowhere to go. He had to clip the front of Shame's car. And that's both of them right at the back of the field there. And it looks like there's damage on JJ's car. That's going to be very disappointing because it looked to be a fantastic comeback from Jasmine Jali there. But unfortunately, it looks like his car is quite badly damaged. He might have a puncture even.
Maybe. Let's go back to the...
Yeah, he's definitely had a puncture going at this speed. You can see the car struggling around. It's just a battle just to keep the car on the road long enough. Whoa! Sideways at very low speed just to try and get the car back into the pits. And it's a very long lap, and he managed to have that damage at the furthest most point there. And Umar almost collects the back of JJ there. And this is where the drama comes in, just trying to get that car back into the pits. If he can get it into the pits without damaging it any further, the mechanics will be able to try and get the car repaired and put some fresh set of tyres there, and he can try and fight his way back through the field. But it looks like right now there's going to be real trouble there. Meanwhile, Saril Norafudin is up into fourth, and Malvinder Jit has gone back up into third place. So the midfield battle is slowly climbing their way up through the top of the field. But of course, there's quite a few drivers have gone into the pits. Mohaimin decides to go into the pits. There's Sharil going very wide, getting the car sideways through Eau Rouge, and that's usually what happened there. Very sideways stuff indeed. But Jasmine Jali has finally managed to get himself into the pit. Hopefully he'll be able to repair that car in due course. But that's a lot of places to have gained, only to have lost. But that's motorsport. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. But it's going to be interesting to see who's already pitted and who hasn't. Javier right now is in 12th. Now remember, he did lead the race at one point. And out of the drivers who have pitted, he is in 4th place. But all the drivers from 1st place right down to 8th have yet to pit. And Alvarez there making an overtake maneuver on Fires, who himself has yet to pit. Fire is pushing the car very wide, very hard through there.
Oh.
Side by side, just making sure he tucks underneath Javier's rear wing, making sure he carries on in due course. But let's have a quick look at front of the field there, the mid-pack rather, and Saifur Arifin is doing everything possible to try and get past Tarmizi. There's another two drivers who've been battling their way up through the field, and Saifur Arifin, he must be feeling just a little bit frustrated at this point. These drivers have yet to pit, but it looks like their tyres are still brand new, and it looks like there's a big accident there. Sharon Norafudin gets tangled up with Malvinder. Malvinder can't be too happy with that. Melvin, as he's known to his friends, big incident going through there, but Sharon Norafudin, now he has to give up another position to another one of the SRE Ferraris, but Tarmizi spins, just gets on the throttle a little bit too quickly, and that's Sharon Norafudin from gaining 2 places in the course of a kilometre.
Ferraris are hard to drive.
Yeah, the mid-engine cars, yeah, definitely very tricky to try and get the cars sort of pointed and rotated. But Saifur Arifin now is his next targets. Both his next targets have been eliminated by the car up ahead. So his next trick is going to be trying to get himself up into the podium positions. Now, of course, like I said, like I've mentioned, this is pending a pit stop, but it looks like he's going to go into provisional 3rd position. Coming down the Kemmel Straight, they're going to go side by side coming into Les Combes. Let's see if he's able to do it under the brakes. It looks like he's just got enough slipstream, some side draft coming into Les Combes. And that's a nice, neat overtaking maneuver there from Saifur Arifin. 57 minutes have passed in this 45-minute race, and so far Ilham Halabi is still in the lead, followed by Afif Fadlan, and Saifur Arifin is in 4th, Azril Nazli is in 5th, and Tarmizi Yusuf is in 6th place. Shameh Aizan in 7th, Omar Aziz in 8th, and Mohamed Buhaimin in 9th place, with Javier Alvarez slowly climbing his way back up the leaderboard. He is now in 10th.
So they are gapping up nicely, and yeah, very big gaps there, almost 10 seconds each for the top 3. So
now is the time.
This will be about to change after pits. We'll see their strategies after this.
Yep. And now it's the case of whether they're going to try and push the cars as hard as they can in order to make sure that Ilham Halabi doesn't have too big a gap up at the head of the field. And they're going to have to push the cars as hard as they can, because if they get a big enough gap, that'll be almost a free pit stop. And they'll be able to come out with enough time difference that it won't matter too much. They won't have to try and fight the car up ahead. But Ilham Halabi is still out there. He's still pushing as hard as he can in order to try and get that gap up. Afif Fadlan has decided not to engage in trying to chase him any further. He goes into the pits himself. Saifur Arifin stays out there, and that is the gap between 1st and 2nd place right now. Ilham Halabi and Saifur Arifin have yet to pit. 19 seconds is not enough for Ilham to go into the pits and come out with the lead. So now it's down to Saifur Arifin. Will there be an undercut? Will there be an overcut? When are they going to pit in relation to each other? Will he respond to the driver up ahead? This is where the mind games come in when it comes to the strategy required to race in sim racing at this level. Afik Fadlan comes out in 7th place. Omar Aziz just behind him there. Now Afik doesn't have all that much temperature in his tyres there, so he's going to be very careful with Omar Aziz. Omar might be able to steal that position from Afik Fadlan. You can see the cars sliding around a little bit. Omar is able to take a slightly wilder line going through the course there, and he's close enough to try and gain some sort of a draft. Coming down into the Kemmel Straight, and Afik has to try and keep Omar behind him for long enough that Afik's tyres will get back up to working temperatures. And of course Omar, I believe, has not yet pitted, so this could be very interesting indeed for his race chances. He'll want to try and gain as much of a gap, or be as far enough ahead of everyone else, so that when he goes into the pits he doesn't lose too many positions. But At the same time, Afik is also trying to make sure that he doesn't let anyone past.
So for the guys who has done their pits, I think Afik is in the lead.
Afik is
Oh,
in the
okay.
lead.
Now Ilham goes to pits.
So this is interesting. It'd be interesting to see what the gap is between the two drivers there, and it looks like Ilham Labi is not able to keep the lead. So Saiful Arifin will go into the lead right now, and Saiful Arifin's job now is to try and push that car as hard as possible. Ilham has reacted first, now Saiful Arifin has to react and push that car as fast as he dares. Sharon Norfudin is also in with a shout here. Cheryl, a fantastic drive to gain 5 positions up to this point. 31 minutes have passed in this 45-minute race. I do apologise. Quarter of an hour to go, and Saiful Arifin has taken the lead of the race. Sharon Norfudin is in second place. Ilham Labi manages to get out in third. That's a very short pit stop there from Ilham Labi, and he'll be hoping to try and basically keep the pit stops down to an absolute minimum, because the less time you spend on the pits is more time you can spend out on the racetrack trying to gain time off your opposition. Afi Fadlan is in 4th position, and Alvarez has gone all the way up to 7th place. We have Shami Aizan, Tabizi, Farouz, all 3 of them are in the pits. So as it stands now, Saiful Arifin in the lead, Sarah Norfudin in 2nd place, Ilham Labi in 3rd, Afi Fadlan in 4th. Umar Aziz there battling with Afi Fadlan. He is in 5th place. He looks like he could get 4th place anytime now. Muhaymin is in 6th. Azrul Nasli in 7th. Javier Alvarez in 8th. Shami Azar in 9th. And Tarmizi is in 10th. And Jasmine Jelly managing to get his car back up into 11th place. He'll be pushing very hard in order to try and catch the cars up ahead. And it looks like Malvinder Jit, unfortunately, he's down in 13th place. He's one of the guys who came off worst throughout the pit stop window. But that's it's been a fantastic race so far. The early sort of almost touring car style battle for the lead sort of melding into this very interesting high-speed chess match that is the strategy, the sort of strategy battles that you see up and down the leaderboard there. But now I think we're going to have another attempt at going into the lead. Saiful Arifin comes into the pits. Now Saiful Arifin was the last car out that hasn't pitted yet, alongside Sharon Norfudin, I do apologise. And these 2 drivers are going to lose the lead to Ilham Labi, so it looks like Saiful was not able to do enough. Ilham Labi has taken the lead of the race from Saiful Arifin and Sharon Norfudin, and that's going to be a very, very big lead for Ilham Labi. Looks like Ilham has managed to get himself perhaps the best pit stop out of the leading cars. Saiful Arifin, another driver with a very short pit stop. He's able to ensure that he doesn't lose too many positions there, but he's lost a lot. He's lost more positions than Ilham did, and that's going to affect the outcome of the race quite a lot. Might be that the challenge from Saiful Arifin is going to peter out just a little bit here. There's not a lot of time left, around 11 minutes left in the race. It's going to be a big ask for Saiful to try and get up past the cars up ahead. Afik and Aziz are battling just ahead of him, but Ilham Labi is 15 seconds in the lead. That surely must be unassailable. So Umar Aziz there, still tracking Afik Fadlan, still got his target directly up ahead. It looks like he has to back off a little bit here just to try and regain the tyres, regain the grip, because of course in these cars there's quite a bit of downforce. You can't follow the cars for too long, because even though you get that slipstream effect, but you also tend to overheat the mechanical aspect of the car, or the engine and gearbox can get overheated. and you do lose a little bit of that downforce through the medium speed corners there. So sometimes you do have to back off just a little bit in order to try and recover the car and push again. But it looks like Omar Aziz is on another push around campus and through Stavilo. Up ahead is Afif Fadlan, who's made a big mistake there, and it looks like Omar Aziz is also under a lot of pressure from Saiful Arifin as well. They're going to go side by side through Blanchimont. All three of them are in a pack. Let's see who's going to come out on top here. Omar Aziz was the one challenging, but Saiful Arifin is now taking on that mantle. He is putting a lot of pressure on Omar. Coming into the braking zone here, they're not close enough. Ooh, Omar Aziz has missed his braking zone. He's locked up, and that's allowed Saiful Arifin to gain another position. He's gone back up into third place. That's a fantastic recovering drive so far from Saiful Arifin. Coming up into the first corner here. That is Afiq Fadlan up ahead. That's
How
going to be
did
the next
Ilham manage a 17-second gap? Ooh. Let's see his times.
So you can see Ilham Labi is really pushing very hard indeed. In fact, his best lap time is a 2:19.068. That's quicker than the pole lap in qualifying. So he's in qualifying mode now. He's trying to push that car as fast as it will go to try and gain as much of a gap. Perhaps he's underfueled the car slightly here, pushing the car very, very hard at this early point of his second stint in order so that he can fuel save with a big enough margin at the end of the race.
So he's running a steady 219 every lap.
Yes, that is Ilham Labi in his robot mode. That's why it was so surprising to see him spin, because he is so consistent. Consistently fast as well.
Oh, what happened there?
And it looks like Omar Aziz has spun. He spun at the Brussels chicane. It looks like the mid-engine cars are having a lot of trouble coming into this hairpin. Brussels hairpin. And yes, he just gets the car sideways there, not quick enough with the opposite lock. And you really don't want to throw too much opposite lock on these cars. So it is very, very hard to try and catch a slide in a mid-engine car, but it seems that he wasn't able to do so. And he's dropped down quite a few places there. Azrul Nazli in the confusing Mercedes, the Yamaha Mercedes, chasing Javier Alvarez, who's moved himself up into 6th place. There may have been an overtaking maneuver there earlier on, but it looks like Azrul Nazli is very quick indeed. Could be that these drivers will be swapping places right the way to the end of the race. Saiful Arifin, meanwhile, is in 3rd place. He's gained a massive 13 positions from the start of the race. It looks like Afiq there just running a little bit wide. He's starting to make mistakes there. Saiful Arifin pushing the car very, very hard indeed, getting the car sideways across the curb, using as much throttle as possible, coming down into the braking zone now. Afiq Fadlan up ahead, Saiful Arifin right behind him, and it looks like Afiq just not able to get his foot on the throttle. Now it's going to be a slipstream battle, it looks like, going through Eau Rouge. Now up on top of Radion. And onto the Kemmel Straight. Let's see if he can close up that gap between himself and Afiq Fadlan. Meanwhile, Ilham Labi is just pulling away off into the lead. That's an absolutely spectacular gap between 1st and 2nd place there. A full 4 or 5 corners. He is over the hills and far, far away. Saiful there, really getting very close to Afiq Fadlan. It looks like Afiq's car is not as quick through the slow to medium speed corners around here at Spa, but it does okay at the high speed stuff. Saiful Arifin in 3rd. You can see Afiq's having to push that car very hard indeed just to try and keep ahead of Saiful Arifin. Half a second between them. It's definitely no breathing room between these two cars. Mohaimin, meanwhile, he is starting to come alive towards the end of the race, as he tends to do. He's been at the lower half of the field for quite a long time, but we did say to look out for them, and it looks like he has gone up into 4th place. Very good stuff indeed. Meanwhile, Kulvin Ha is battling with Melvin, trying to find a way past Melvin Dijit Singh there. But Melvin is very hard man to try and overtake. It's going to be a real challenge in order to try and get that blue Ferrari past the red one. Saiful Arifin now really right behind Afik Fadlan. Looks like Afik may have made a mistake earlier on in the lap. Now going through Blanchimont. Saiful having to back off just a little bit there. Afik's car just a little bit faster in the high-speed corners than Saiful's car, but Saiful able to close up the gap. Mohaimin really able to close up the gap there, and it looks like Afik has to go into the pits for it. So that's very very strange indeed. Has he done 2 stops there, or have we just been looking at him trying to go very long indeed?
I think he underestimated his fuel.
So he has perhaps run out of fuel there, trying to go very long indeed before making his pit stop.
Maybe he just did it. He encountered some damage that we're not aware of. Maybe.
Perhaps, but it looks like he's. Or that might have been a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that's interesting.
He didn't stop. So that's a real shame there for Afif Fadlan, because he was up in the top 3 for a very long time in the race there. Saiful Arifin is overtaking Mohaimin. Mohaimin was battling with Saiful Arifin. That goes side by side through Lake Home, and it looks like Saiful Arifin just about manages to keep the position there. Now coming down into the Brussels hairpin, it's going to be very challenging to try and make an overtaking maneuver stick through here. Mohaimin's being hung out, left to dry. Coming around the outside now through No Name, and that was very close indeed. Mohaimin almost had Saiful Arifin going through the back half of the Kemmel Straight. Spectacular stuff from these 2 drivers. Meanwhile, Judgment Jolly is also very close to the back of Tabrizi. Whilst one Ferrari gains position, it looks like another one is just about set to lose it. Judgment has had a awful race so far, with the damage on his car and trying to struggle to get the car back. It looked like he had a bad puncture or some suspension damage or something of the like. But now he's in 10th place and he wants to be into the top 10. He's following very close behind Tarmizi. Will he be able to get past Tarmizi here? Tarmizi runs a bit wide there, but unfortunately Jasmine just unable to capitalise on that slight error. It looks like coming into campus, this is going to be one of those deals where he's going to have to try and draft his way past the Ferrari up ahead. Jasmine Jolly there, just directly behind Tamizi, and it looks like the drafting might just work. He's going to have to try and go around the outside of Blanchimont. This is going to be an absolutely sensational overtaking manoeuvre there around the outside of Blanchimont to go up into 9th place for Jasmine Jolly there. Definitely proving that he's definitely got the ability, if not the luck, to do well in this race. It looks like just in the warm-up race we might see a lap 20. We might see a lap 21 depending on where Ilham Nabi is on the track. It could be very close though. This could be the white flag lap. We'll see. Oh, sorry, the next lap could be the white flag lap. I do apologise. We will see. But Ilham Labi, he's stretched his gap up to 19 seconds. He can almost take another drive through and still be in the lead. Meanwhile, Saiful Arifin is still under a lot of pressure from Mohammed, who's definitely kept the tyres on his Ferrari lasting a lot longer than Saiful's Audi. Coming through Pouan there, very challenging section to try and get right for these mid-engine cars there. You can see Mohammed's pushing the car very hard indeed, running the car a little bit wide. Now of course both these drivers, both Saiful Arifin and Mohammed, will be racing in the SRA race that we'll be broadcasting. So do stay tuned to Adrenaline Impact for that one as well. But in the meanwhile, on the race right now, 5 seconds left to go on the clock. It looks like the checker flag is going to come out for Ilham Labi, who's coming around the final corner there. He's timed that to perfection. He doesn't want to do another lap. He comes across the line and wins the first GT3 series race right here on Adrenaline Impact. A fantastic win from him. Perfect strategy. Saiful Arifin is going to go side by side with Mohammed. This could be the last minute change in position there. They're going to push it as hard as possible. They're going to go side by side. Who's going to take second place? It's going to be Mohammed. Mohammed takes it from Saiful Arifin. 0.015 seconds takes it. Let's see it from Saiful Arifin's point of view there.
Oh, he's on the right side.
He's on the right hand side there. He went around the outside of Saiful Arifin. That's spectacular stuff there from Mohammed. Just manages to edge it across the line there, less than the diameter of a wheel between them. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is close racing. Fantastic stuff there from Mohammed, and fantastic stuff from Saiful Arifin, who almost made it work. Sarah Norafud is going to go around in 11th place there, but that's Ilham Labi. Mohammed managing to get that fantastic second place from Saiful Arifin. Umar Aziz managing to get into 4th place. It looks like Calvin had just about ran out of fuel on the final lap. Will he be able to crawl his way past the finish line? Yes, indeed he does. He does finish, albeit in the pit lane, and Tengku Irshad there just unable to get past the man ahead of him, Fairuz. In the final car out on track, Jasri Junos. He will come home in 15th place.
So Saiful lost in 0.0015 of second to Mohammed there.
1.5 thousandth of a second. Or to put it another way, that was 15 milliseconds between Mohammed and Saiful at the finish line. So very spectacular stuff indeed from both drivers there. And as Jasri Junas comes across the line, that concludes the end of the race. Let's have a quick look at the results. Ilham Labi manages to win from 20 seconds ahead of Muhammad Mohammed, with Saiful Arifin only 0.015 seconds behind. So Saiful Arifin was in second. He dropped down to third at the very final moment of the race there. So Ilham Labi in first, Mohammed in second, Saiful Arifin in third place. Omar Aziz was at the head of the queue for quite a while there. He managed to recover from a mistake to come back up into 4th place. Afiq Fadlan managing to keep that Mercedes quite high up the leaderboard in 5th place. Shami Aizan is in 6th, followed by Jazrin Jali, Tamisi Yusuf, Shahriar Norafuddin, Malvinderjit Singh. Tried very hard at the front of the field there. Unfortunately, he had to drop back. Azrul Nazli is in 11th. Javier Alvarez led the race for quite a while there, but unfortunately the couple of incidents took him out, and he is down in 12th place. Right behind him is Tengku Irshad, our pole sitter. Unfortunately, also had a couple of incidents. He's down in 13th place. Calvin Ha is 14th. Jasri Junos is in 15th, and Fairuz Fazil is in 16th place. Wow, what a race!
That was very exciting there.
Absolutely amazing stuff indeed. But that was your unfortunate bridesmaid there, Saiful Arifin, in 3rd place. A valiant effort to try and get from the back of the field right up to the front. An amazing drive, but unfortunately the 3rd step of the podium is all he could manage this time around.
Let's try to grab Ilham in the group. Is he? Oh, there he is. I'll try to drag him here. Let me try. Move to broadcasting. Yeah, okay, is he here? Ah!
He's here.
Hello.
Hello Ilham. So, macam mana dapat rasa menang?
Menang tak tahulah. Kereta ni macam tipu lah. Senang gila. Effortless.
Wow. Fantastic. Tapi strategi pun dapat jugalah.
Tu
Finish 20 second gap
dia orang accident. Kalau dia orang tak accident, dia ada je kat belakang.
Kau pun ada tadi ada ni tadi ada terciduk sikit.
Sikit sikit je lah. Tapi lepas tu tak ada benda, okey je. Tapi memang kereta ni compare dengan McLaren yang saya bawa itu hari, yang ni macam effortless gila. Effortless gila.
That's why tak ada orang bawa McLaren. McLaren tu kena alert lagi ke macam mana? Apa beza dia?
Beza dia tak tahulah, dia macam struggle untuk dapat grip. Yang ni dekat turn berapa tu yang naik bukit tu, apa panggilan dia?
Yang
Turn 2 ke apa yang naik bukit tu untuk
yang Orange tu.
Orange tu kan. Dekat situ flat out. Flat out betul.
Oh,
Tak ada
menakjubkan
lift langsung.
menakjubkan untuk GT3 boleh flat out.
Tu lah. Untuk Ferrari tu kena lift off sikit lah. Dah lah lift off, dia punya top speed pun tak dapat.
Itulah.
Jap, ni dalam live ke sembang-sembang kosong?
Dalam live.
Oh ya ke? Ni sembang macam sembang mamak je ni.
Tak apa.
Boleh lah.
Kita jemput P2 sekali, join sekali. P2 kita.
Alah.
Aimin, apa perasaan dapat menang last minute tu, dapat P2?
Bukan Alipin ke?
Bukan.
Siap.
Betul last second.
Kau tengok balik live, rewind balik. Kat YouTube boleh rewind.
Tak, dekat result ni pun dia ada tulis Muhammad nombor 2.
Yeah. By 0.015. Betul-betul last second dapat. Apa perasaan dapat?
Rasa memang nombor 3 lah. Memang sebab Alipin side kan.
Rupanya betul-betul last attack, last battle, dying moments pun dapat. Itulah maksudnya kalau boleh never give up. Ni betul-betul never give up, dapat juga nombor 2.
Susah bawa Ferrari.
Susah. Blanche Mall tu memang nak snap belakang tu.
Ya.
Tak macam sedih lah, stabil je. Macam tu. Laju dah tak stabil.
Warm-up race itu kau bawa kereta apa? Mercedes kan?
Mercedes. Dia slow sikit tapi stabil lah rasa.
Tapi rupanya Ferrari ni memang laju lah. Laju tapi memang susah nak bawa.
Betul. Kena precise sikit lah.
Ya. So dapat rasa podium sekarang, boleh masuk ke race SRA dengan penuh confident nanti
Ada luck.
Semalam race tak?
Semalam tak. Tak ada hal semalam, dah.
Okay, minggu depan ni kita masuk. Kita AI akan try buat satu warm up race untuk korang.
Alright.
Semalam punya race memang macam pelik ya.
Kau nombor 2 kan? Nombor 3 semalam
Nombor 2.
Tapi dalam championship kau nombor 1 sekarang kan?
Wallahualam tak tahu pula.
Aku tengok dalam leaderboard, championship leaderboard, aku rasa kau nombor 1.
Oh ya ke? Okey. Tapi semalam tu track tu macam mana? Setup berbeza betul. Dia orang punya setup semua yang saya perasan lah. Dia orang punya setup semua high downforce, tapi saya punya low downforce. Sebab tu dekat straight belakang tu memang boleh kejar kau-kau meh. Tapi gap still macam tu tau. So berbeza setup tapi result dia macam tu, macam sama lah. Result sama. Berbeza setup, result sama. Tapi itulah, ada part yang kita kena slow down, ada part yang kita ada advantage kat situ, macam tu lah.
Okay.
Moving forward nanti rasa Ilham mungkin nanti nak bawa Audi untuk next round.
Untuk ni tengok macam mana. Saja je try kereta-kereta. So itu hari tengok macam tak boleh belah je. Kereta tu macam dah ni sangat lah. Dah kereta museum lah sebenarnya. Macam tak ada pace ke apa, tak tahulah pula.
Tapi Audi betul laju lah dekat ni.
Audi laju betul.
Gitu
Macam
lah.
cheating lah.
Itu lah.
BOP dia nak kena turunkan lah.
Ya, mungkin minggu depan mungkin dia akan adjust next update ke.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay guys, thank you for the feedback. We'll try to do mungkin selang-selang lepas ni buat Formula AI balik. Tengok macam mana, selagi tak ada championship ni kita run this series dulu lah. So thank you for supporting AI and please do race minggu depan ni kita ada. Jap mana dia punya ni, kita tengok betul tu poster ni. Sekejap.
Poster kat belakang meja tu, kat dalam beg lagi tu. Kat dalam beg.
Sekejap, Ejaz balik poster ni sekejap. SRA kan coming up next weekend.
Yes.
So Matt,
Kat mana,
can you have the details? Sekejap. Aku tengah load up. Okay, here you go. Charlotte.
Oh.
So that's going to be the next broadcast right here on Adrenaline Impact. This Saturday is going to be an absolutely amazing race. GTE cars up against the Radical SR8s. There haven't been too many SR8s, but this might change around the Charlotte Roval. This 17th of October, the practice runs are going to be at 8 o'clock. The qualifying and the sprint race is going to be at 9, I do believe.
Yeah, so we hope guys from SRA and SRE, please do join. I think registration is still open, and might as well try out the GTE. Well, any recommendation Ilham for GTE punya car tu untuk masuk?
Nak pantas bawa apa? BMW. Instant talent. Sama macam Audi tadi tu lah. Kalau bawa tu instant talent dah. Tu je.
So, Charlotte Roval ni macam mana tuning dia? Macam mana, apa yang tips nak bagi for Charlotte Roval?
Tahu lah. Tak pergi ke sana lagi.
Flight. Nanti Jumaat kita naik flight ke sana
Yeah.
Right.
So we will have a warm-up race on Friday as well to try and get the SRE guys and maybe a couple of SRA guys as well, you never know, to come in for the warm-up race. And on Saturday we will have the Sim Races Asia, the SRA Championship race at the Charlotte Roval on the 17th. Do stay tuned to Adrenaline Impact for more of that information, and we will have a race on Sunday, do you believe?
Okay, that we'll announce anything that's regarding to AI soon, so
Do stay tuned.
so in the comments
So-
we have, who's there? I cannot see lah, kecil sangat. Alif
Leave
Lam
that
Mim.
one. Yeah, they're saying that they've just dropped down the M8 GTE. Dia dah turun sikit 5% BOP last update, so might be interesting, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's why we do warm up races.
Yeah.
BOP is manually set ke macam mana? Ke default lah?
Itu racing yang set.
Okay, so just yang kita control fuel je lah kan, dengan ballast weight lah kan. Okay guys, so it's a good race. Congratulations semua.
Yeah.
Ilham, Muhaimin, Ipin tak ada dalam ni. So Ipin memang sakit hati sikit lah tadi kan.
Itulah. Tadi agak dive bomb sikit dia last stop tu.
Tapi itulah, ke acceleration out of the last corner tu memang Ferrari memang mantap lah kan. Tapi straight line memang R8 tu memang gila juga kan?
Itu betul.
Okay, so Matt, do the closing stuff.
Alright, special thanks to the drivers that have joined us, Muhammad Muhaimin and our race winner. Congratulations to Ilham Halabi. And also a special thanks to our director Karo Alang. I've been Max Palmer, and we will see you all in the next broadcast. Till then, Tara.
Okay, dah mute. Thanks guys. Jom kita lepak dulu. Rap. Aku toilet kau. Jom masuk bilik. Jom turun balik. Gitu.
Hi, I'm Matt from Interformula, and welcome to our Research and Development Center. We do all forms of research and development, all the way from designing and developing our own race cars to simulators to running cars in racing series and rallying all over the world. We also do a lot in the Asian Classic Car Championship, so do look out for us. For any information, do contact us with the number down below.